Turn trash into compost, the simplest, easy method to create compost piles. Your soil is starving. And honestly, most gardeners don't even realize it. The difference between weak, struggling plants and explosive, healthy growth often comes down to one simple thing. Compost. Not store-bought fertilizer, not complicated formulas, just rich, living compost made the easy way. And today, you're going to learn the simplest method to build powerful compost piles that actually work. If you want more straight-to-the-point, no-fluff gardening guides like this, make sure you subscribe to Grow Bountiful right now so you never miss the secrets that truly transform your garden. So, let's take a moment to understand what makes compost so powerful. Compost isn't just, rotting waste. It's actually a living system. When organic materials break down, they create this nutrient-rich soil amendment that feeds your plants slowly and, naturally. This means you get stronger roots, better water retention, and healthier crops across the board. Compost improves clay soil by loosening it up, letting the roots breathe. And for sandy soil, it helps hold moisture for much longer. No matter what kind of soil you have, compost really upgrades it. That's why experienced gardeners rely on it year after year. The beauty of composting is that nature already knows exactly how to do it. Your job is simply to guide the process along. So the 4 essentials every compost pile needs. At its core, composting only requires 4 things. If you miss one, the process, it slows down or even fails. First is green material. This is your nitrogen source. Think fresh, soft, and moist. Kitchen scraps like fruit peels, vegetable waste, and coffee grounds all fall into this category. And, grass clippings are especially powerful because they heat up the pile quickly. Second is brown material. This is your carbon source. Dry, fibrous items like cardboard, paper, sawdust, and dried leaves work perfectly. These materials balance the greens and prevent the pile from becoming slimy. Third is water. Your compost should feel like a wrung-out sponge. Not dripping wet, but definitely not dry. Fourth is air. Oxygen allows beneficial bacteria to thrive. Without it, your pile turns into a slow, smelly mess. When these 4 elements come together, decomposition speeds up naturally and efficiently. Choosing the right materials. Keep it simple. If it came from a plant, it's usually safe to compost. Fruit scraps, vegetable peelings, grass clippings, and yard waste all work beautifully. Brown materials include shredded cardboard, newspaper, sawdust, and dried leaves. The smaller you break these down, the faster they decompose. Right, so avoid glossy paper-coated cardboard or anything treated with chemicals. Also, steer clear of meat, dairy, and oily foods. These things honestly just attract pests and slow the process down. Eggshells are fine, but do keep them crushed. They break down much faster that way. Building your compost pile the easy way. Forget complicated systems, really. The simplest method is just building your pile directly on the ground. This, you see, allows worms and beneficial organisms to enter naturally and help with decomposition. Start by layering your materials. Add a layer of brown material, then a layer of green. Continue alternating like this as you build your pile. But here's the key most people miss. Don't leave it in layers. Mix it as you go. Compost works best when everything is blended together, not stacked. Aim for a ratio of 50% green material and 50% brown material by volume. It doesn't have to be perfect, really. Compost is forgiving, You can always adjust later. As you build, add water gradually. Focus especially on dry materials like cardboard and sawdust. Everything should be evenly moist, not too soggy or too dry. If you have access to finished compost or garden soil, just add a handful into your new pile. This introduces beneficial microbes and, jumpstarts the process. Why turning your compost matters? Turning your compost is what keeps it alive. It introduces oxygen, prevents compaction, and ensures everything breaks down evenly. In the first 1 to 2 weeks, turn your pile frequently, especially if you're using grass clippings. So, grass tends to clump together and form these dense layers that, block airflow. When that happens, the pile becomes anaerobic. Instead of breaking down cleanly, it turns into a smelly, slow, sludge-like mess. Regular mixing prevents this completely. Break apart any clumps you see and redistribute the materials. After the initial stage, you can reduce turning to once a week. The pile will continue breaking down steadily. Understanding heat and decomposition is key here. A healthy compost pile generates heat. This is a sign that microbes are actively breaking down materials. Within a few days, your pile may become warm or even hot in the center. You might see steam when you turn it. That's exactly what you want. This heat accelerates decomposition and helps kill harmful pathogens. It's a natural process driven entirely by microbial activity. Now, if your pile isn't heating up, it usually means one of three things. It's either too dry, lacks nitrogen, or doesn't have enough air, so just adjust accordingly, fixing common compost problems. If your compost smells bad, it likely has too much green material and not enough air. Add more brown material and turn it thoroughly. If it's not breaking down, it may be too dry. Just add water and mix it well. If it looks slimy or compacted, it needs more oxygen. Break it apart and add dry materials like shredded cardboard or sawdust. Composting is all about balance. Small adjustments make a big difference. So you might be wondering, how long does compost actually take to finish? Well, with this simple method, compost can be ready in about 6 to 8 weeks, as long as the conditions are good. That's without any complicated systems or, constant monitoring. You'll know it's ready when it looks dark, crumbly, and earthy. At this stage, you really shouldn't recognize the original materials anymore. You can stop adding new material now and just let it finish curing. Worms will often move in and help complete the final breakdown, turning it into rich, fertile compost. Now, let's talk about using your finished compost. Once it's ready, compost becomes, honestly, one of the most valuable tools in your garden. Just spread about 2 to 3 kilograms of compost per square meter across your soil and mix it into the top layer before planting. For established plants, you'll want to apply a thin layer around the base as a top dressing. You can also add it to planting holes when transplanting crops. This gives young plants an immediate nutrient boost. Compost releases nutrients slowly, so plants take what they need over time, without the risk of burning roots. And, keeping your system going year-round is really important. The easiest way to maintain a steady supply of compost is to run multiple piles. One pile is actively receiving new materials. Another is in the middle of breaking down. A third is fully finished and ready to use. This rotation ensures you always have compost available without waiting months each time. It's always a good idea to keep extra brown materials stored and ready. And this makes it really easy to balance your pile whenever needed. That's why, honestly, simple composting always wins. Many beginners get overwhelmed by technical terms and complicated systems. But it doesn't have to be that way. But composting doesn't need to be perfect. Nature doesn't follow strict formulas, and neither should you. Just focus on balance, moisture, and airflow. Mix regularly, adjust when needed. That's it, really. The more you do it, the easier it becomes, and the results, well, they speak for themselves in stronger plants, healthier soil, and bigger harvests. Composting is not just a gardening task. It's a system that transforms waste into life. And once you master it, your garden will never be the same. If you found this guide helpful, subscribe to Grow Bountiful and share this with someone who needs better soil and bigger harvests.